Yo, what's going on? Make sure that this still is working. Just you got one person in here, so this thing is not working, right? Yeah, yep. Let's see. Yep. Check this. Mic check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Yep. All right. Yo, what's going on, man? It's your man T History. We was up here again, just waiting for the people to pull up. You know what I mean? Sunday evening, seeing how everybody's doing this evening. You man T History. Watch your phalanges, watch your backside. How's everybody doing this on the Sunday evening? Most of the time, most of us are sitting up here watching a football game. You know, man T History is on have a little special edition going on Sunday evening. Seeing where the people's at, seeing what's going on. Tonight we have a guest. I'm just waiting for the guest to pull up. You know, we're gonna get into a nice Sunday night edition of the show. As usual, I can see I let it be known, but I let the notification game is not available for YouTube these days. I see. You we still got the one person in the chat waiting on the show. I'm just waiting for the guests to pull up. You know how it be sometimes. Every time it works like this, so that makes it work perfectly. But how's the people doing? Hopefully somebody will pull up eventually on the stream yard and in the field. Now how that yeah. YAK just pull up, just hit the link and come straight to the oh man, what's this doing? What's all this? Yeah, just hit the stream on YAK and just go straight to the why is this thing acting like this? Uh, yeah. Nah, just I don't know why you backed it. Just do it like you would normally do, and just pull up to the. Hold up. Hold up. It didn't just let you go straight to the link right there. It's telling me backstage. I don't understand that. Oh, there you go. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. There
There
you
we
go.
go.
All right.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's going on?
Man, what's
All
up,
right.
my brother?
All right. Oh, you got it up there. So, all right. So, usually, it always be technical difficulty. So, you here, and that's what's up, man.
See, man, I got an echo. I got an echo on mine.
Take, if it's not me, just take out how you got here. Just take out the
I think I need to
YouTube
go.
part. Just take out the YouTube part. Like,
Hold on. I need to go out. I need to go out and pause. See, that's why I was trying to go out and pause. Heck, I usually have to go out and pause first.
well, go ahead, do what you normally do then.
Uh, is that better? Can you hear
Nah,
me?
it's on you because I've been hearing you. It was on you.
That's
Usually,
good. That's good. That's good. Now I'm good.
okay.
All right.
So, all right. So, it's up there, but for the people that that's listening and stuff, you sound clear. So, will you just let the people know who you are the starter?
Man, I'm YAK, man. Born and raised in Chicago, man, the south side of Chicago.
All right.
You know.
Always do that. We're good. That's all right, because that's what we're gonna be the second question. But go ahead.
My fault, bro. Yeah, big YAK, man.
Yeah. Nah, because that's good. Because usually that's how I like to set it off too. But everybody does that. But because I was gonna say so just let them know exactly where you from and stuff.
Man, I'm from the south side of Chicago, known as the low end, man. You know what I mean? Anybody that's been to Chicago or from Chicago, they know Stateway Garden projects, well-known projects, 35th and State, born and raised there. You know.
That's what's up. You tell me, like, can you give me like a visual, like how was it back in the day or your time growing up there?
It was, man, my time coming up. It was tough, but it wasn't like it is now. You know what I mean? Because it was always gang related. But back in my times growing up, Games were a little more structured. You know what I mean? So even though we were still outside, you still made it. You still made it where it was a little safer in your community. You know what I mean? We still made sure the old ladies got in the house while we was doing our dirt. We still made sure the shorties was able to get back and forth to school while we was doing our dirt, opposed to just tearing the neighborhoods up. You know what I mean? It was still structured when I was coming up. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I like.
So
I'm. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, it was more structure to it when I was coming up. But it was tough, but it was still organized. You know?
Yeah, see, that's why I like. That's why I like to ask those questions, like to see where the area is at, and like if you can give the listener, like with the different, like you hear different, seeing people tell stories about like how Chicago old block, especially like now, and like you said, because you're older, you're not as old as Avon, and what's going on, Dirk and them. So I would like to know how Chicago is, and I like to know how different areas are, and like how you basically was growing up and what you was into. So as a youngster, what were you into yourself?
Yeah, man. I came up, man. I was. It was gangster. It was GDs. You know what I mean? I grew up in a family of GDs. Grew up in development. You know what I mean? But we had also Black Pea Stones, Mighty
Okay.
Dales, the Dale Vikings. You know what I mean? Latin Kings was real big there. You know what I mean? But it was like it was gang infested, but it was territorial. You know what I mean? But my area, the South Side that I grew up on, it was GDs, because GDs was real big when I was coming up. You know what I mean? It was big time.
Right. And when you say that was so being GD or either any of them, was it like was it something to do, or was it something that was like influenced on you? I mean, like not like the following, but was it just like something that was just like common to do, or would you
It
say
was it was man. It was almost natural.
natural? Right.
It was natural. That's what you was gonna do and what you was gonna be. You know what I mean? It was
Right.
like my entire family. I got uncles. You know what I mean? My older uncles and everything. Everybody in my family was pretty much was GDs. You know what I mean? It was like your entire area where you grow up. It's natural. You're gonna be involved, and you're gonna claim something, but it's not forced on you. You
Right.
know, it's not forced on you. It was never you gonna be this or you gotta be that. You know what I mean? It was never that. It was just natural.
Right.
That's what you was around. That's all you seen. You know what I mean? Coming up,
Right.
it was a natural evolution. That's how it was when I was coming up. You know what I mean? It really was.
and and pretty much probably not even so much as looked at as a bad thing, because if we all look at it, even when it go down to not your area but Crips and Bloods, it wasn't to, what I'm saying, brought across as to be what it is today as well. So it probably wasn't so much as looked at as a bad thing at the beginning either.
No, not at all. It was actually looked at to like police and protect your own neighborhoods. You know what I mean? It wasn't to destroy and tear your neighborhoods down. Because we had, man, you had to. When I was coming up, you had laws and creeds that you had to know. You know what I mean? It was books that you had schooling to it. You had to know these laws. If you was claiming to be anything, you had to. If you got pulled up by a high-ranking member, you had to know these things. If you got locked up, when you got up in there, first thing they ask you, are you claiming this or that? Because if you go up in there and you say, yeah, I'm GD, or yeah, I'm a BD, and you don't know your laws and your creeds, you was gonna get violated. You know what I mean? So you had to know these laws and creeds, and then them laws and creeds is telling you the do's and don'ts that comes with claiming it. You know what I mean? So that's how it was when I was coming up. Now how they do it now, it seemed like they just anybody can claim it and anybody can do whatever with it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that when I was coming up.
Right. Right. Oh shit. Yeah. Hold on. You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So coming up as well. What about family structure? You got siblings? How you had a good tight knit family in the household? You would say.
Yeah, came up with a single mom, strong black woman. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I got I got two older brothers and a younger sister. You know what I mean? Tight knit family. You know what I mean? Both my brothers was, you know what I mean, protective brothers. You know what I mean? Didn't try to get me. They tried to keep me out of the streets. Actually, you know what I mean? But it was like it was a natural. It was a natural thing, being a knucklehead and chasing behind my brother that's right above me, because he was more into all the dirt. So I'm following behind him. He used to do everything to keep me from following behind him. But you know, I made it my business to ride his coattail. You know what I mean? And he did everything he could to keep me from getting out there. But you know, I come from a tight knit family. You know what I mean? I really do.
Yeah, that's what's up. Well, was you at any time like into sports or anything like sports?
Yeah, yeah, man, man, wrestling, man. I'm 3-time state champion wrestling too,
Oh
man.
shit! See, that's big time. That's why I asked
Yeah,
those
3-time
questions.
state champ, man. I had opportunity to get a full ride scholarship wrestling. Wind up getting into some trouble in the streets. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
blew that. You know what I mean? I had the opportunity to get a full ride scholarship to Iowa State, man, and
damn.
wind up messing around in the streets and messed that up. And then you know how they just took the street route, man.
Right. So when you would
Yeah,
say, that's why I asked for trials and tribulations. When that comes along, when do you say you start getting into trouble?
like right, you kind of went low, bro. Like your volume
Oh
went down on.
yeah, this thing is I catch.
There you go.
Yeah, this thing is.
Yeah, you said like
Yeah, I was acting about this thing is acting. There we go. I was asking about trials and tribulations. Like, so when you, or maybe high school, you start getting into trouble. So I would like when you break down like trials and tribulations that you had.
yeah. I started getting in trouble like sophomore, junior year of high school. That's when I started really getting into trouble, man. Because you know what I mean. My mom's a single mom, so you want you want them Jordans and shit, and you know what I mean. My mom couldn't afford that. You know what I mean. So it was like niggas out there hit the streets, man, trying to get it on your own. You know what I mean. So that's when I started getting into trouble. You know what I mean. I had coaches, man, like my wrestling coach Quint. He used to do everything. He used to see me out there on the block. He would come snatch me up. They could go in the
Mm-hmm.
house, you know what I mean, trying to keep me from out there, you know what I mean. But it was like
Mm-hmm.
kids is treacherous, man. You come to school and you ain't got the proper gear on. You know how kids is
Right.
ruthless, man. So it's like, man, you out there trying to get it just to go to school looking like you something decent, you know.
Right.
For real, that's what made me jump out there off the porch, you know what I mean. But shit, man, because
Could
I
you
could be sick,
even
bro.
Could you really reiterate on that, like for people, you know what I'm saying, for the people, or, you know what I'm saying, our counterparts out there in the world that don't understand that, like, again, they like, you know, your outfit, the wardrobe, just like, that's a struggle in itself, that like, just your appearance, like, and, you know, you know, having a single parent, and just your wardrobe, just like, it's a dilemma that you have, just to look right, and people joke on you and clown you, that you know it's
Right.
not just getting up and going to school and into your books. You have people that's gonna make you not even feel comfortable going to
That just
school.
come, man. Just go, man. It was rough, man. If you ain't going to school, man, 'cause you always had a select group of kids that, as soon as the mics drop, they got them, and it's like, if you ain't got them, your mom. I don't know how the East Coast or something went, but man, like shit, my mom she would try to throw you in some pro wings, you know what I mean, shit like
Right,
that. And I'm
right.
like, man, you can't, you can't go up in there with none of that. You know what I mean? Kids
Right.
would rag on you all day, bro. And it's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
and my rebellion to that was start swinging. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you fighting over how you look in school. You know what I mean? That's like, man,
Mm-hmm.
that taken away from your education. I was a smart kid in school. You know what I mean? But it was like you can't even concentrate on just school, because kids getting on you when you got the no pocket jeans. You know what I mean? The jeans with nothing on the pockets, man. Everybody know
Right.
them ain't nothing, man. It was rough coming up like that. So that forced a lot of kids, a lot of
Right.
single parent home kids jump out there in them streets, man. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot
Um.
of talent. I saw a lot of talented brothers that could have made it in sports, get a bunch of years strictly trying to just make it, get some money because the funds wasn't in their household, man. You know what I mean? Get a lot of years in prison behind that, man.
Right. Exactly. Like I said, Big. Remember, Big said that. What's that? Blow. It's just like the nigga looking in the inside of his shirt. Like nigga had the same thing you said. punched him in his mouth. Like, nigga, don't ask
Punch
me
him in
what
their mouth, man, for real.
that.
It
That's
was
why
crazy.
people registered because you resonated with people because you know that feeling. The same
Yeah.
thing, like you said, the East Coast, the same thing is. My mom's used to kill me. Is this store that I hate to death is not around no more, but Favors is the place that you talking about. Nothing but Buster shit. Like
Busted
why are you
shit, man.
doing this to me?
Yeah.
Like,
Already, man. On top of that, I wore glasses too. So it was like, man, like now you see everybody wear glasses as fashion,
right?
man. When it was coming up, man,
Hell no,
everybody looked at you
exactly.
like you was soft because you wore glasses. Like, nigga, I ain't soft. I just can't see.
Right,
Like,
right.
but because I wear glasses don't make me no punk. You know what I mean? I had to fight just because I wore glasses, man. Like kids is treacherous, man.
Yeah, no doubt. So, like you said, what I would want to know, far as like getting on the block, like you said, to get bread, right? How do you hustle in the shop, like far as like pumping and stuff, like. Was it trapping out, or like was you on the strip, or was you in a trap house, or like
Yeah.
how do you hustle in the shop?
Chicago is main. Chicago, when I was coming up, it was mainly trap houses. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It wasn't a lot of standing out on the blocks. You know what I mean? You had crack houses. You know what I mean? And the difference in Chicago, you can't just, it was crazy to me when I first came to the East Coast. If your arm's strong enough to get out there and make your money, and you can handle your own business, you can make as much money as you want to on the East Coast. It wasn't like that in Chicago when I was coming
right,
up. You had areas that's already accounted for. You know what I mean? If you were gonna sell something here, you already had to take a cut out of what you were gonna sell and send that to Nation. Nation getting they cut off the top. You know what I mean?
right.
You had to pay to sell everywhere, and that was mandatory. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You couldn't just freelance sell nothing. You know what I mean? That was mandatory out there. So when I saw how it was on the East Coast, where you could just, as long as you could hold your own, you could make as whatever you make. That was amazing to me when I saw that, because it wasn't like that when I was coming up. You know what I mean?
Right,
You got to pay dues in Chicago. Period. Point blank. Man.
right.
Really do.
Yeah, that is a difference. That's why I ask you. That's why, like, I try to educate, like, ask that question because I know that from being on this side, and it's still restrictions on that too. Like when I was coming up, it was a different time that like you couldn't in my era, like the same freelance that you talking about, you couldn't even freelance like that. Well, like you said, holding your own. It was a time
Yeah.
when you couldn't just jump off the porch and just be anybody thinking that you was just gonna go doing that. Neither.
Yeah.
But
Nobody,
you,
nobody,
like you said, if
nobody.
you had the heart or you had it, but it wouldn't be no paying no rent to nobody. It's just that you would, have to be somebody of some substance.
Yeah.
Um,
Like that was serious.
how long, like Dom? So how long did you mess around? Like I said, with the trials and stuff. Like, did you ever run into doing any significant time or anything?
Nah, I didn't do a bunch of jail time because I wound up when I started catching my little petty cases. That's right around the time I started getting into my music. So you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean. I started hustling. When I was doing my hustling, I started hustling to get studio time, shit like that. So it was like that. That became my music became my biggest transition. That was my focus. You know what I mean. So it was like I was more concentrating on like doing music as opposed to being in the streets. So that took my focus away from the streets for real. So that really saved me. So even when I wasn't hustling trying to get rich, I would get enough
Right.
of me and my man. I would get enough of like we finna hit the studio. So you know what I mean. We hit the studio and I get a little EP done. I'm out hustling that EP. You know what I mean? I was doing
Okay.
that early in the game. You know what I mean? I was doing that early. I was doing that early on in the game. When I was 14, 15, I was selling my CDs. I mean, my cassette tapes. You know what I mean? I was
Right.
selling cassette tapes early in the game. You know what I mean? So that took my attention away from the streets real early. And I did little small 2 months here. You know what I mean? I never did no big jail time. That was never my thing. You know what I mean? That
Right.
was never my thing.
That's what's up. So, so when you come to the rap, so what was like? How did that come about? What was your inspiration to like rapping and shit? Like, how did that come about? What was your inspirations to it?
Man, my inspiration for real was, man, East Coast rappers, man. I was Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One and all of that, man. That attracted me so early in the game. I remember, man. I used to grab the cassettes and look on the back, because you remember on the back they used to have all the information. So all the record labels and stuff in New York. I talked to Russell Simmons on the phone. That's when he was answering his own telephones back then. You know what I mean? Trying to just get information, and you know what I mean, calling all the companies, man. That was my inspiration, listening to East Coast hip hop. You know what I mean? In my 8th grade year, we had for me to pass to graduate. My science teacher, Miss Jones, she put together a little group that she knew us that rap to pass for me to graduate. She put a project together for us to rap at the talent show, and she would give us 2 A's on his last freaking test that we did this talent show for. And that's how I passed going through 8th grade off this talent show I did. And the way I saw the crowd react, man, I knew I could do it. You know what I mean? And that inspired me to just go hard at it, because I saw how the crowd reacted to it. You know what I mean? I felt like I could do it, because I made the crowd move, man.
Right. I also, that's funny with me. I didn't even pay attention, and I should have, because like I said, I got it late by you just telling me, and then me just getting into like listening to a few things, and then I listened to something a little while ago. You know, my shit is Crack Boy, and something else. Damn, what's the other one? When you and your brothers, something to move joint. I can't think of, but. You like not well. It can't be on purpose, because of what you name. You got an East Coast influence, so you don't really sound that with your voice, because you know you got a distinctive voice. Your voice is different, so you that's gonna stand out when you rap. But you don't sound like a West Coast. I mean, you sound Midwest, but you don't sound Midwest. You know what I'm saying? Like how T.I. got that. Like T.I. don't sound like he's country, but he doesn't sound like a ATL, and he sound like a New York. Like you don't sound like New York neither, but you sound like an East Coast. Like you spit, you know what I'm saying?
I think something, because I lived on that East Coast, but I'm from the Midwest. But I also lived on the West Coast for 10 years, so it was like I knew I had a little bit of everything in me. You know what I mean? So I lived all around. So, and we put all of that together. You know what I mean? And,
right.
And it was our own sound and our own style. You know what I mean? We never tried to mimic off of nobody else. We never tried to sound like nobody else. But we kind of knew what everybody would like. You know what I mean? We just
how does that work? I love talking to people with that situation. I mean, I probably supposed to have it too, because like you know, I got something with me, and I stayed in VA for 5, so you know, but see, I would have that cockiness, because I was coming from up here and then going down there, so I would felt like I have advantage, because I'm going down south and being up north, even though I was young. But how do you use that to your advantage, and like how do you like, could you explain, or in any type of way, like how you got to adjust to that, like especially like you said, going to LA or going to West Side, or you know what I'm saying, going on the West Coast, and being from Midwest, and then having the influence of the East Coast and accepting it, like how have you put that together?
Yeah, it was the thing, me being from Chicago, especially when I was younger, me being from Chicago, that helped me going to different places, because Chicago is respected. At least Chicago was respected, pretty much universal. So whenever when I was able to go different states, by me being from Chicago, people looked at, oh man, damn, y'all all right. I like Chicago. So that was always it was open. I got welcomed with open arms by me being from Chicago. So I was able that helped me when I was coming up, when I went to different places. You know what I mean? So that was always a good thing for me when I was coming up, being from Chicago. That was a good opening. You know what I mean? Invitation. Everybody took that real well. Me being from Chicago, so that helped me out a lot when I was coming up.
Okay.
Definitely did.
That's dope. You said so. No, go ahead, bro.
Like man, my style though, shit. When I was in Cali, man, I've done a lot, man. I was real close, man. I've opened up for Ice Cube, Scarface and the Ghetto Boys. You know what I mean? Papa LQ, CJ Mack. I've actually opened up for Dipset in Chicago, right in the heart of my neighborhood, man. You know what I mean? I've
Oh
done some
damn,
shows,
that's
man.
crazy.
I've done some shows with some big names, man.
So you had to do it because that sounded like around the time where what's the name was messing with him. Then it would make sense. You know, JoJo Capone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've
because I
done some,
mean, you
I've done some shit, man.
yeah, I see you dropping names on. I was going to ask that, see your daughter again, but those are some of the few questions that I had. I had questions a lot, but then I got to condense because you know the way you are. I know that we could just talk this one out with certain things anyway.
Yeah,
That
I
was
just be going.
also a
That's my
question.
fault, bro.
Do you? Nah, that's not. It's all good because you could talk, so it doesn't. It makes it better for you know. What would you consider your could you consider your style though?
I, I would, man. I really, I wouldn't put, I couldn't really put a title on it, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't really put a title on it, man. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of, a lot of people would say is Midwest with a little Southern twang to it. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it's a blend. You know what I mean? It's a blend. But I mean, I could rock to. You can put an East Coast hip hop track on, and I could rock to that. Then you can put a West Coast gangster track on, and I'd ride that boy out. So it's like it depends on the track, for real.
Right.
It depends on the track.
Right. What so what about the you consider yourself the whole time you've been a solo artist or you've been in a group the whole time?
I did both. I did both.
Okay.
I did both because man, when I was in Cali, me and my brother, I got a record deal, and when that didn't go through, you know what I mean, that one like took the win. You know what I mean, when everything we got caught up in that with the contract situation, that like took the win out of us, and my brother it messed him up, so he was done with rap. You know what I mean? And I still had that itch in my belly, so I put 2 solo projects out while he was like pretty much semi-retired. You know what I mean? I put 2 solo projects out, and then I put me and one of my guys I grew up with put a little label together in Chicago. We put 2 solo projects out with me, and then we put a couple of like compilation albums out. And then me and my brother got back together. So you know, I did both. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what basically happened with the record deal situation? Y'all basically got one, but then kind of like didn't get shut. Like basically, you said contractually, just like it didn't happen. You got it, but then things just the paperwork just got messed up.
I said we signed with the record company was called Mob Style Records. It was an independent label that had a bunch of money, a bunch of street money that they was using us. They had a bunch of street money to do whatever they wanted to do with. You know, they was able to buy their way in and rub elbows with everybody. But
you
they
ain't
pretty much.
You ain't talking about what's the name, are you?
Who's that?
Oh no, that was Wild Style. I was thinking you was talking about on the dude with the Alpo and them, the other one, the big dude, because that was their group and their stuff name too. Well, I can't think of the dude who got shot. Okay.
These some West Coast cats, but they
good.
They had us under contract. I mean, when I said we had a main roster on this label, but they was pretty much using us like tax write-offs. They was paying us. You know what I mean? They was paying us, and we had talented artists. We had talented producers. You know what I mean? Big Roy and Goldfingers was our producers. They was the guys that did the Ghetto Boys Mind playing tricks on me. So they pumping out hit after hit with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But these guys was using us, just holding our contracts, but not putting out no music. And they paying us money and giving us access pretty much to any amount of coke that I want to do that I could handle. But that ain't what I'm here for. I'm trying to get, man, I want my record put out, nigga. I ain't trying to hustle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Record out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
that's what they mind was. They was trying to wash up money, clean money up. So they pretty much had a roster full of straight up talent. And man, held us for years till the contracts got breached, man. And, you know what I mean? That was crazy, man. And it was straight up crazy. At that time, Lil J from Rap-A-Lot tried to sign us. Priority Records tried to grab us up. New Tribe tried to grab us up. You know what I mean? They wouldn't let us go. I did a show with Bushwick Bill, Pop LQ, and CJ Mack one night at a club out there in California called the Pink Cadillac. And Lil J was actually in the club. And he walked out there and he heard me in one of my lines mention Larry Hoover. And he, that caught his attention. You know what I mean? And he was like, man, where you guys from? And I tell him Chicago. He walks out to my Blazer, listen to my whole cassette tape, man. He like, man, he want to do something with it. Then he see we was with Big Ron Goldfingers, his old producers. So he tried to buy us up out and get us out the contract. You know what I mean? Call the record label the next day. But they was trying to get him to finagle him to take the whole label when all he wanted to take was y'all. Brother, you know what I mean? So it was crazy, man.
Damn. What I say in that situation, was y'all able to leave with the music that y'all recorded at least?
Man, I didn't even leave with the music. I was recorded. Leave with the music we was recorded with, man. It made some classic joints, but and the crazy part about it, I'm still to this day. One of the owners passed away now, but one of the other owners, after he did some jail time, he's back out now. But I'm actually back in contact with these guys. Still cool with a lot of them. Still to this day, man. That was a learning lesson. That was a learning lesson in the music business. You know what I mean? But they wasn't bad guys. They was learning as we was going, the same way I was learning as I was going. But they didn't. They, as far as contractually, they fucked us. But I learned a lot about everything from these guys. You know what I mean? That's the reason I was able to learn how to produce my own music. That was the reason I learned how to work in the studio. You know what I mean? Because with them, we had access to studios in Hollywood, but they would just leave us in there days at a time. That's what made me and my brothers never learn how to start just messing with the boards. You know what I mean? That made me learn how to start buying equipment. You know what I mean? Shit like that from them guys. So you know what I mean? I lost on it, but I actually learned from it at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll hook you up with ONDA, bro. I gotta holler at you then at some point you still mess with it. Damn, that's a lot of stuff, man. Okay, so another thing I'll say, how many you said you did some joints. Have you I know you're not supposed to talk about it, but so you can't name drop here, but have you ever wrote for somebody?
A couple people, yeah.
Good check. So you done seen a couple of ASCAP checks before?
Yeah. I got a few ASCAP checks.
Oh yeah, you got them anyway. You got those anyway. Okay, that's what's up.
That joint you got, man. That's still getting sold on Amazon.
Oh yeah. Right. Anytime. Oh yeah, right. Okay.
On Amazon right now and I stream that and everything, bro. I still get checks coming in.
Okay. What's the it's gonna be the opposite and this gonna be an opposite too question. What's the easiest part of making music?
The easiest part for me probably would be the writing.
Right.
That's the easiest part to me. Writing and performing, man. I love hitting that stage, writing and performing. I love performing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I love doing live shows, man. You know what I mean? That always pumped me up.
Right. What would be the most difficult? Probably what you just said.
The most difficult? Oh, man. The most difficult part about music is actually getting people to really listen to it for what it is, man. Because a lot of times people don't even take the time to even listen to the music. They just go off of the next person to think is hot. You know what I mean? Most people don't even give it an ear for real. That's the most difficult part. Right. Listening to it with an open ear.
Right. Especially like you be saying, if you got like substance in your record, like if you feel like you be saying shit besides just spitting.
Most people don't even listen, man. They go off if it ain't spinning from this DJ or that, if it ain't being pumped, you ain't even give it a chance, bro. Just cause a DJ or Hot 97, man. It don't make it hot, bro. That don't make it a good song. And
Right.
they can make anything a hit. Put enough money behind it. They gonna pump it in your ear enough. It's gonna be a hit anyway. That don't make it a good record. You know what I mean? For real.
Exactly. How do you feel about today's hip hop?
Man, I'm not a fan of it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, man, they hip hop's a big reason a lot of these kids out here doing what they doing. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
they're giving them incentive. They're giving them incentive to go out here to tell you how many bodies they're dropping, to give you a
Right.
deal. You know, because you pretty much gotta be in that circular in that realm of music and living that type of lifestyle to get famous now. You know what I mean? So they promote for these kids to kill out here now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Catch
that's
22.
yeah, it's a catch-22, man. I'm
And
not a
it,
fan of it.
and you know when you get older too, because look at something we talked about in our past that we talked about earlier. It's the same. It's reminiscent to the not having the Jordans, right?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing as
yeah,
not having the
same.
Jordans, and we had to go out there in the block, and because we couldn't afford the Jordans, we had to go out there and do some dumb shit to get the Jordans, to
Yeah,
get the girl. It's the same
yeah.
shit all over again,
Same. All over again,
but
man. But on a bigger scale, because
but on
now
a bigger
now they
scale.
now they giving out big bucks to do that shit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
to
So it's
do it,
like, man,
and the
these
niggas don't
kids
even
ain't
get the, they don't
yeah,
even get to enjoy it.
they ain't having a second thought about doing it. You might have a 2 year run
Yep.
of just
Oh, you
doing
beat me
dumb
to it.
shit. A 2 year run of doing that dumb shit. And your 2 year run, at the end of that 2 year run, is either the penitentiary or the graveyard. That ain't a good option to me. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean?
Not at
I,
all.
that's not a good option, bro. Shit.
Think at all. I think I just wrote something today, a little piece, and that's what I just said. The finishing line that I said something about something being senseless, and then it makes more sense for your pockets. Ain't nobody gonna buy that, but for your pockets to be filled with lint, because you go out here like you said and go chasing that bag, and you get that bag, and then in 725 days later, you don't live no more.
Exactly. But man, was that worth it?
Was it worth it?
Man, like for real, was
It's
that
just,
worth
it's
it, man?
crazy, because if I ask you that beforehand, before you do it, I'm gonna give you this here money, but you're gonna die in 2 years. What would you do?
Exactly.
You would tell me to
It's,
keep
it's
that goddamn bag,
yeah, you keep that, man. I don't want it. It's like now, man. It's rough for them, man. These kids is lost now, bro.
right? I feel sorry for them. I looked at that a couple years ago. I was just like, damn, man, I'm glad I'm at the age. It's funny. My age is a funny age, because it's like it's in between that age where, you know, the 80s where you could have got the crazy money, and then it's like if I was like 10 years younger, it's just the pressure. It's like the motherfuckers is like under 25. They just got it rough. It's like if you ain't about that crazy shit, like you're just a sucker. Like if you're not about shit and you're in your 20s and you ain't about that crazy shit, you're a sucker. You're a bitch ass nigga.
They look at you. They look at the females ain't gonna do nothing with
Name,
you,
yep.
and niggas gonna shun you. You know what I mean? It's like, man,
Hmm.
it give them they get these kids limited options. If you wanna, even if you wanna come outside and be even presented like you respectable. You know what I mean? They make them look like they ain't even respected if they ain't on that dumb shit. You know what I mean? Like, man,
Grab
uh,
the
uh,
clothes. Hold up.
yeah, you carry yourself like a man now with some respect. They call you soft now. When the hell that shit happened? You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't say thank you no more. Like you
Oh,
can't. You know what I mean?
exactly.
You show respect. That means you soft now. Like when the fuck that happened? Like come on, man.
Exactly.
Like that,
Exactly.
they done messed the
So,
generation up.
exactly. So with all of those difficulties, how many CDs or mixtapes have you been able to put out?
I put out total. I put I put 6 out total.
That's
I put
still
6 out. I put 6 out myself total.
that's still good. How many how many shows you? How many shows did you get done? How many shows did you and Bro do? How many shows you've done?
Oh man, whew. That's
Okay.
man. I haven't lost count of them, man. Especially on my camp, man.
Right.
I did a lot when I was in that California realm, man. Cause
Okay.
crazy. The crazy thing is, when I was in California,
And that's a nice place to be doing some shows at. I know you
yeah,
got smacked with some
I,
panties a few times.
man, I did a lot of shows in Southern California, man. And it's like,
Oh,
man, Easy E, Easy E actually tried to snatch up the whole label that I was under Mob Style, because he had a radio show there. It was called Easy Radio on Saturday nights, and he wound up bringing us up there in the one group, New Breed of Hustlers, that the label was pushing at the time. They had a single out. Easy played that single, and he let all the rest of the artists, he let all us spit over the air, and he wanted us to help him diss Death Row. This was when they
oh,
was at the height. This when they was at the height of their shit. We was pumped, man. We like, man, we gonna go in on these cats. Though we
right.
young and
You ain't had no
hungry at this
problem. Yeah,
time.
you was hungry. You
You know
had
what I
no
mean?
problem.
We was young and hungry, and the crazy part is, Easy died a month after that, bro.
Damn.
Easy died 1 month after that, man. As things was getting set up, man. That was crazy. I'm like, man, I've been close a couple times where it was like right there, and shit would happen, man. I'm like, man, it make you wonder, like, is this shit supposed to happen, or is it not meant for me to happen? You know what I mean? That
Right.
crossed my mind a lot of times.
Of
It give me
course.
some. It been a lot of stuff
You would
where
have
your
had
foot be
that
right
Bone
on the door.
connection too. You would have
Yeah, it be shit.
met Bone. You would have
Yeah,
crossed
it be
paths with
shit
Bone. Plus,
right
they
there, right
close
there.
shot Cleveland.
Yeah, it'd be right there, like we was right at the door, real close. And then
Mm-hmm.
some tragic shit happened. I mean, it made me question a lot of it about the music a few times, man.
I done came a lot of time. Like my bro that's in here now. One of you going, I want you to subscribe to their channel too. My brother from Marriage and Marijuana. He tough. Y'all got to do something too, man. After this, when we do a regular, y'all holler. But he tough too. He the same type of bro. He didn't mess with people that been on too. The same, y'all got the
Yeah,
same type of thing. But, it's a tough game, and plus it's like what you said. Even for me, like it's just seeing how nasty that game is too. It's like the angel and the devil on the shoulder. It's just like seeing how nasty it is. It's like, man, maybe the Lord looking out for us too, man. You know what I'm saying?
maybe this
You
is
know,
sometimes you wonder, is it a blessing that
yeah,
you get full planted, both feet up in there? You know what I mean?
right. You know what I mean?
I've seen some wicked stuff happen, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying some wicked. I went to it, man. I went to it. It was we was in Southern California. We was up in San Diego. We went to a bar. It was called a Ballers Party, and to get in the door, you had to have $2,000 in your pocket just to get in the door. But then they had an upstairs where the main party was at. You had to have 5 racks in your pocket to get up there. Man, we got upstairs. Man, everything you can name, any drug you can name on the table just out. You got females laid around doing any and everything.
And
Man, when I tell you, man, it was the devil's palace up that motherfucker. You know what I mean? But it's like that's what goes on in them big parties. You know what I mean? And I'm a young kid. You know what I mean? I was 19, 20 years old. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn.
right.
But it's like, you know what I mean? That's what you see. You know what I mean? But that's why they only a select few get to see certain stuff. You know what I mean? It's like,
Right.
man, everybody don't see everybody get in that circle. You know what I mean? Everybody don't get in that circle, man.
Yeah,
Everybody
you gonna
don't
see
get up
some
in that
shit you
circle.
don't want to see, or some shit that you gonna. Whew.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of shit. I'm like, man, I was short, and I'm like, God damn, these motherfuckers up here numb. I'm like, you know, everybody in there just numb.
It's
I'm like,
funny
dang.
because I remember like my cousin, you know what I'm saying, God rest his soul, he used to he used to always hit LA for years, and he used to tell me like he was one of the first people, but like, because he hustled and stuff like that, so he would know stuff, and he used to be here in LA for like when he was young. and everything. Because like I said, he was one of the dudes trapping, and like he would fib. It would seem like he would fib sometimes. So it was like listening to him. He was a storyteller, but he was telling me about like Will and Jada back in the days and how things was happening. And then my uncle, well, my auntie's husband, and he was telling me some shit about Janet Jackson, some shit like that. And they used to just be telling me stuff, and I'm like, yo, like, yeah, right. But then, like, now, I'm like, oh man, this nigga used to be telling me wild shit back in the days, nigga, when I was young, and thinking these niggas was just lying. But now it's like, now that I'm older and I was hearing what's going on, that shit was true. That shit was like that. Cause like I said, my cousin had told me about like Will and Jay's, like told me a long time ago, like that was an open relationship. He's like, yeah, niggas be hitting, niggas be fucking Jada, and I was like, yeah, right.
Lot of be swinging, man.
Yeah, they be swinging. Yeah, he told me that a long time ago.
Yeah, that shit is real, man.
I was like, nah, that nigga ain't let nobody smash no Jada. That nigga told me that shit a long time ago. He like, yo, that's just like that, but other niggas fuck her, dog.
You walk up in there, you got a tight bunny with you. He'll pass ass up like a blunt.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll pass it to you like you passing the blunt. Shit.
Yep. Like they new shit, they say that shit be beds. A lot of it's called a bed. A lot of them bitches be the niggas bed. Them niggas be playing with boys, Diddy's type of action. They'll mess with girls too, but that shit just be beds. That shit, that's what I said. That shit's not for the average nigga. Like they said, Hollywood. You gotta be built for that shit.
Yeah, you can sell your soul in more ways than one, man. For real.
Exactly. Another question I'm gonna ask you before, like I get everybody, I'm gonna have you do the game, and then I'm gonna ask you this question first. What I was gonna say? Basically, how would you describe like your music being different from like anybody, even today, not even just today's time, but even back then? What would you say makes your music different from the next person? Like if I had to your tape and Mr.'s tape, what would make me buy your tape over his?
I think my music is like soul rap. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm sorry. I just.
Mine's is like soul rap, man. I got stuff that'll hit you in the soul, man.
Okay.
If you listen to it, man, you definitely gonna feel it, man. You know what I mean? For real.
Okay. All right, so what I said with the game here, because I don't think you never seen before, I'm just gonna ask you a question, and it's just gonna be either or. It's not like you gotta be right about it. It's just you take the which one that you rather you prefer.
Okay. There's no right or wrong answer.
All
right.
It's just what you prefer. All right, so build or destroy.
Build.
East, west. I ain't even do that.
Ooh, that's a tough. Both.
Both. All right. City or country?
City.
Thick or thin?
Thick.
Lyrics or beats?
Lyrics.
Movie or documentary?
Documentary.
Cold beer or 2 shots?
2 shots.
Fight or shoot?
Fight.
A car or a truck?
Truck.
Jeans or slacks?
Say that again?
Jeans or slacks?
Jeans.
Fitted or derby hat?
Oh man. Both depending on the fit.
Fast food or home meal?
Home meal.
Rakim or Karis One? Fast or slow?
Fast or slow?
Mm-hmm.
Slow.
Pool or ocean?
Ocean.
Popeyes or churches?
Churches.
Looks or substance?
Substance.
Kicks or boots?
I take boots.
Rich or famous?
Ooh. Rich.
Condo or mansion?
Condo.
This is what I like here. Crucial conflict or do or die? I know the answer though.
Crucial conflict.
Ooh, I was wrong. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Patriots or Bears?
Yes, man. and we got that W today.
Yeah. Y'all got the young boy picked the ball 3 times. I'm surprised. And y'all got y'all way. Young boy came out there, saved the day, and Darwin got hurt.
They need to start get them first team reps with the young boy.
He is if cause Darwin hurt. So
yeah.
Gold or platinum?
Platinum.
Henny or Douce?
Henny.
Moet Rose or the Bel Air from Ricky?
I like the rose.
LeBron or Michael?
Mike.
Oh yeah, plus you shot time too. Brady, Manny, or Montana?
Wait a minute, say them 3 again.
The obvious answer: Brady, Manny, or Montana.
Montana.
Wrong answer. Tupac, Biggie.
Pac.
Scarface, Ice Cube.
Scarface.
2000s rap or 2010s rap?
2000s.
Club or house party?
House party.
Players Club or house party?
Players Club. Bernie
Italian.
Mac.
Yeah. Well, nah, he was about to say he's in both of these now. Italian Ice. You gotta give me props for this, but you not too. No, yes you are. Italian Ice or half and half?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Italian Ice, man. That's a tough one.
Damn.
That's a tough one, though. That's good, man. That's a tough one.
Roy Jones or Floyd?
Roy.
Caddy or the Stankin' Lanky?
Caddy, baby.
Indica or Sativa?
Indica.
Diamond D or damn, who was I gonna say? I was gonna say Diamond D and or Brand Pooba.
Oh man, Grand Pooba on that one.
Alright. Alright, so we get back to the hip hop. If anything, what would you say made you survive in the hood, and the advice that you would give to a youngster today?
Man, what made me survive is it's always keeping a level head, and you know what I mean, not going too far at nothing I did. You know what I mean? Always keeping a reality check on myself. You know what I mean? I ain't never think I could be Scarface out there. You know what I mean? I knew there was limitations to everything I did, man. You know what I mean? That was my way of surviving. I never took none of that shit in the streets too serious. You know what I mean? I always kept it was a level to how far I would go with any of that shit. You know what I mean? Right. My household always came first. The streets ain't come before home. For real. And man, the advice to these kids is, man, slow down, man, stop reacting, and think about some of the stuff you do before you just do it, you know? A lot of things that happen, man. They just reacting off of wordplay, for real, for real. You know what I mean? Stop reacting, man, and think first. Split second to change your life. Split second.
Right. So far, I mean, you've been going through the contracts and faulty contracts and stuff. What is it that you would look for? Well, now first I'm gonna ask you. You kind of answered it through something else, but how far has hip hop taken you so far?
Well, shit, it did. Hip hop is, man. It did made me the. It did help me grow into the man that I am and everything. You know what I mean? It's like, man, that hip hop actually saved. That's what saved me, man. That saved my life because that helped me in my travels. That gave me the courage to leave Chicago. You know what I mean? Because I was chasing that dream. You know what I mean? That was a dream for my. You know what I mean? I had that hunger, man. So it's like, if I'd have stayed planted in Chicago, I'd have traveled around the world, man. I'd have seen a lot of stuff in a lot of places. And I go back home, the same dudes I grew up with, they still right there. You know what I mean? Doing the same stuff, a lot of them, you know what I mean? And ain't been nowhere, you know what I mean? So shit, hip hop took me a long way, you know what I mean? Cause that saved my life, I believe, you know what I mean? Cause I always had that was a dream I was chasing. So, you know what I mean? I always had something I was looking forward to, you know what I mean? So that took me a long way, you know? Even though I didn't make it, I still made it, you know?
Right. I still think that it's still, it's still open, you know what I'm saying? You're not finishing, like I said, for what I heard. Because when did you record on What You Let Me Hear?
Man, I recorded that a few years ago, man.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. I mean, again, what's a few years? Like 18, 17, or even longer than that?
Yeah, a little bit longer than that, man. This, good music timeless, though, you know?
No, I know that. I mean, yeah, because when you make, that's a good, well, I know if you don't want to tell it, I get you. I mean, I like that too. Like sometimes, that's good because, I feel you. That's why I tell people too that like, and I get caught up, and I've done this and I still don't make it. That's why somebody told me this a long time ago too. That's why you don't date yourself in your record neither. You don't get out there and put numbers.
You don't scream out 1990. You don't
do that. Yeah, you don't do that. You don't do that.
I learned a long time ago.
Right.
If somebody first time hearing it, it's new to them.
Right, exactly.
It's new to them.
Yeah, it might be old to me, but new to you. Because as long as you don't make those references, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Sometimes you might still make a reference. You might throw a bomb in there, and that still could be a mistake too. But like, as long as you don't put that number, because like you said, it always can be new. Somebody be like, oh shit. Because you never heard it. That's why, like, I don't be worried. Just like yourself shouldn't be worried, because I have stuff that I did like in 14, and the record's just good. You know what I'm saying? They're still gonna be good, just like the records that we love from the favorite artists that we love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good music timeless, man.
Right. So like I said, I think the last one, second to last one would be what because it's still open and you still got material. Well, how much records do you have besides the joints that you got on YouTube, the ones that the page that you let me see? How much do you have a lot of material?
I still got a lot of stuff that I can actually get put online that I haven't put online. I got a lot of material that I just got in the cut that I ain't even uploaded on here yet. Cause I was like, I ain't even prepped. You know what I mean? I've been holding on to stuff, and people been telling me, man, just release it cause it's mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like this cause it's mine. I own it. Then it's like, man, it's mine. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm probably gonna release it to the masses. You know what I mean? Because it's still good music, man.
Dope, for real. And I'm saying, do you got? Because you said do you know how to make beats?
Yeah.
So are you still active? Are you currently still active?
Or you just? You know what I mean? I still dibble and dabble with it, not like I used to though. You know what I mean? Not like I used to.
Well,
I still get
Cause
that itch. You know what I mean? When I get that itch,
right,
I do something. You know what I mean? But I'm not locked in
I
like I
got
used
you.
to. You know? Yeah,
I got you. You just if you do get that itch, you just turn up at that time and
at that
probably
time,
get something done and get something done in that time.
yeah.
That's what I was saying. Your height. With how long would it take you to make a record when you in your bag?
Yeah, I get in my bag. I can knock a record out in an hour or two.
Okay. So I guess that'll be like what's the my last one to be like I said all that together. If you was to be active, what would you want to say that you would want out of your music career? What would you want it to be?
Man, just I would expectations, man. I really, especially now, I wouldn't put no expectations on it now, man. Just the opportunity for everybody just to give it an open ear, man. That's the only expectations I have on it now. You know what I mean? I ain't chasing no fame. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was chasing fame when I was younger. You know what I mean? Now, I would just wish people just to give it an open ear and just listen to the message and listen to the story because I put my life on it. You know what I mean? My
Mm-hmm.
life is in my rhymes. You know what I mean? Everywhere I've been. You know what I mean? I'm telling my story. You know what I mean? Every stop I made, every point of my life that I was at when I was doing music, you hear about it. I told my story throughout my music. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I guess that's about it, bro. You basically if it's anything that you want to if it's anything you want to tell the people or and definitely you want to tell the people to go look and listen to what the stuff that you do got posted this dope and that'll be it if you
Yeah, man.
you
I appreciate you giving me the platform on your joint, man. Definitely appreciate it, brother. Anybody that's listening, man, go check me out. YAK, Shot Time Furnace, man. I'll be uploading some stuff too for everybody to check out, man. And I definitely appreciate you giving me the time, bro. I definitely
yeah,
give you a
no
shout out
problem,
for that one, bro.
no
Definitely
problem, dog.
appreciate it.
It ain't nothing. Because like I said, you come through the channel, you be on different people platform, and you support, the community, and that's what's up, man. Like I said, once you let the cat out the bag, and let me know that you be involved, and you mess with music, and then like I said, a lot of times, like you said, that you might be surprised, and I kind of knew when you said that it won't gonna be no trash, and then I went in there and listened, and thanks friendly, and then I went in there and listened. I kind of already knew, and then you was getting busy on it. I was like, oh man, I already knew. I was like, and he's sitting up there not saying nothing. Meanwhile, other motherfuckers be trash and they be all over the place. I'm the best, on the best. You go listen to him like, oh, he could have kept that shit to himself, but but nah, what I'm saying, it's definitely good material. Especially like I said, the best thing is it took you places, and like you said, it got you away from what could have been something else, being from the tough, crazy city that you're from. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. Because a lot of us in the city, we didn't had that on the show before, had conversations, even with with like my brother Friendly. Like, a lot of people be stuck in their cities and don't never go nowhere. And like you
Never
said,
know, man.
it helps you take you out of your state and see the world and see different things and see different life and different women, different everything, different relationships and just see what life's about besides, the place that you was birthed at. And I'm a person, I like to travel. That's just dope in itself.
Yep, man.
So
Definitely
at the
appreciate
same,
it, brother.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So at the same time, I appreciate you for dropping and letting us everybody know something about yourself. The people that catch it on the replay, the people that was here that showed up, they know when they be catching you. You know what I'm saying, in these in the chat rooms, or when you be on panels, they'll know a little bit more about you, and then they'll know that you got some skills with you.
Definitely appreciate it, man. I definitely be up with you, man. I tap back in with you, man.
All
Definitely
right,
out there
bro.
be safe too. Yep, man. Appreciate it, my brother.
All right, man. Have a good night, man.
Yep, you do the
All
same,
right.
man.
All right, y'all. We out, man. That was YAK, Shot Town's finest, man. Remember again, it's the same thing on YouTube, right? For the music, right?
Yeah.
Right. So, hey, everybody, that, like I said in replay, everybody that's here, go check out Yak Shot Times Finest. You know what I'm saying? He got a few records up there on under his name. And trust me, just like the interview is worth to listen to his album, you know what I'm saying, the joints, the records he got up there. And he said following weeks or whatever, he's gonna be uploading some more tracks up there. Everybody continue to have a great night, man. Enjoy yourselves and get ready for your work week, or just get ready to have a fresh new week, man. Everybody take care of yourself. This was great. Thank you again, Yak. Shot Town's finest. And we out.
Yeah.
Peace. 100.
Peace.